Good day, good day, good day, everybody. Welcome to Living Life in Joy with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and I am so excited today for our guests. But before we get there, let me tell you a little bit about the purpose of Living Life in Joy. It's a vehicle to express joy, and not just mine, but other people's joy too. So I have on folks who are connected to their yes. And if you did not see last week's show, you missed a lot because last week, Sekou welcomed in September with a celebrity guest, Keith Major. He is a celebrity photographer. And what keeps resonating, I keep sharing this with folks, what keeps resonating for me from that show is his quote when he said, God is the artist and he sees people through the lens of love. So that's what we're talking about this month. The theme for September is love. Love is the theme for September. I just made that up, y'all. Did y'all like that? Yes, yes. I said, yes, let's make it love. Let's make it love. So that's what we're going to do. So welcome to Living Life in Joy. We have a sprinkle of Sunday in praise. And so let's get to it. Let's go, set, ready. All right. So let's get right into it because I am excited to introduce you to my guest today, Lindsay Leimbach. And she has to tell me if I'm saying her last name correctly when she comes on. But let me tell you a little bit about Lindsay. Lindsay was the former head director of special education school working with severely emotionally challenged individuals and their families. She taught classes and seminars for schools, groups, businesses, and parents on mindful living and mindful parenting, active awareness, and becoming your personal best. She is a mindful living coach working with adults, teen, and children. Lindsay is currently on the executive board for the Southeast Ventura County YMCA. And there on the screen are some images from her website. Yes, her beautiful website, centeredmoment.com. Centeredmoment.com. So without further ado, let me bring on Lindsay. And we have a drum roll. Hey, Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you on the show. And we got a special guest with us.
Yep, this is Buster. He lives life in joy, and he says yes all the time.
I love it. Well, I think Davy, my cat, is, I don't know, somewhere hiding right now. But it's good to see you, and it's good to see Buster. And so let's just get into it.
Well, Reverend Melissa, I have to tell you something.
Yes.
In 6th grade, I changed schools and I introduced myself, everyone, and I told everyone my name was Lindsay Love Leimbach. That is not my name, but I made my middle name Love. To this day, my high school friends always are like, how's it going, Love?
You see?
Live.
You see that?
Yes.
One mind. That is one mind right there. Like, I did not know that. And what's our theme that I just made up today?
That's right, that you just made up, love. So Lindsay Love Leimbach has to be the first person for the new theme.
I love it. Lindsay Love Leimbach is our special guest today. And I love that you refer to yourself, Lindsay, as a mindful living coach. What does that mean for you?
Well, for being a mindful living coach is someone who works with people in the present moment without judgment, right? Isn't that what mindfulness is? Is being really that awareness that you talk about, being aware of what's going on and centering yourself in that divine spirit, not in that human judgment where you have worry and anxiety, but where you can actually see the highest best for other people and for yourself. And sometimes people get trapped and they get into that old mind, those old tape recordings you talk about so often. So I help people realize, listen, you're in those old tape recordings. What is really speaking in your heart? What is speaking in your heart? Let's listen. And to listen to your heart is to be mindful, to be in the present moment, and to be interconnected. So that's what I help people do.
And you work with all ages.
All ages. So just so you know, my background, as you were saying, is in special ed. And actually, I know, one of the questions you were going to ask me is like, what is one of the things, how do you state it? What is one of the joyful?
So the won't he do it?
Won't he do it question, right? The won't he do it question. When I was a little girl, when I was in first grade, I couldn't read anything. And I used to cry and hide under the tables in school. I was in public school, and the teacher thought I was definitely, maybe even mentally delayed. Called my parents up, and they knew that wasn't right, but they got me tested, and it turned out I'm severely dyslexic, and I went to a special ed school. And from there, I did that. I went into regular ed school, but I had therapists and psychologists and all these people that supported me. Well, to make the long story really short, I ended up becoming a special ed teacher. And then they asked me, would I be the principal of the school? And these are kids that were from gangs, kids that had incest issues, drug issues, foster care, group homes, bipolar, manic depressant. So it was these emotionally disturbed kids. And I kept getting asked. And then they said the board wanted the headmaster to retire. And they came in to me and said, won't you do it? Won't you leave the school? And I was the principal. I was like, I'm leaving school. And they're like, no, will you be the headmaster? Here is this little girl who went to special ed school. And what did I say, Reverend Melissa? I said,
yes.
Because it was my divine order. I always thought maybe I'd be a minister, and I actually took science of mind classes 100, 200, 300, and 400. And I went to see someone and I said, I'm ready for my church. And this person said, you're never going to get a church. I was like, what are you talking about? But she said, there's going to be a blue door. And when at my school, what was there? A blue door.
Wow.
My school was my yes. And why could I do that? It's because I didn't see broken children. I saw the divine spirit. I saw what they didn't remember, but I remembered for them. And so I was able to bring out their best and bring it out into the school. So that is my moment of saying yes to the universe. And I was there for 23 years.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing. And it's so, I'm not surprised to hear that connection. I'm not surprised to hear that connection because I hear it so often of something that we overcame in our childhood, right? That's part of our purpose.
Oh, absolutely. I actually believe that your childhood gives you those foundation, those strengths when you overcome, and helps you develop the tools so then you give back to the universe. So our struggles aren't struggles. Our struggles are the foundation of learning so we can help the rest of the world wake up. It's the gift we get to give.
Yes.
And so my struggles actually ended up being my gifts, because if I can do it, I'd look at these kids. I say, I went to special ed school and now I'm the headmaster. You too. And their eyes, what? I couldn't read until I was in third grade. You couldn't read until your third grade and you're running the school? Yup. Their eyes. Maybe I can too. Yes, maybe you can too.
Yeah. the possibility
The
right in front of
possibility.
them in the flesh. Oh,
Right.
that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I can imagine what it's like for you working with parents who might have children who are either in a special need category or have some emotional issues that they're working through, to
Yeah.
reframe that, to help parents reframe that and see it from a different perspective.
Especially with the pandemic, because so many kids are struggling with anxiety, worry, social and emotional issues. It's not, kids are not meant to be locked down at home. You know, that is not where they're meant to be. They're meant to be learning with their peer groups and how trying new experiences, but they had to for the better health of themselves. So we have a lot of parents who don't know what to do. Also, a lot of times the kids have the same problems that the parents have, and that's really hard. So if they're ADHD or they're dyslexic or they have anxiety, their children have it too, and they haven't worked it out. And so I'm able to help them both get into that centered place. And this is why I work with all different ages. And now I've been a mindful living coach, a teacher, as you can see on my website at centermoment.com. If you put in Lindsay Leimbach, NASA, JPL, you'll see one of the classes I taught over at NASA. So I did a lot of work in businesses as well. But as you know, all that went away. So now I really am focusing on online courses and working with people through Zoom all across the world. So it's pretty exciting that I can reach more people.
That's beautiful. And you have a class coming up.
I do.
Very soon, next week, starting on September 15th. Tell us about the class, Lindsay, because it has the word joy in it. So you know I already love it. Mindful
living with joy. Now I wonder where I got that. Someone who I want to tell everyone, I watch Rev Melissa and Sekou Monday through Friday at 7:30, and they are my juice to get going. I come up with wonderful ideas. So there's a wonderful book, The Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And they talk about how do you bring joy into your life. And I really, like you, believe that joy is something that we can have no matter what else is going on.
Yes.
And they come down and they say that they have 8 pillars. I just want 4 quality of the mind and 4 quality of the heart. Now, Rev Melissa, you've talked about every one of these: perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. Those are the 8. And so I bring in a workshop format for the Zooms and where we work through these 8, because joy is a byproduct of your thinking.
Yes, it is.
See, people want to go buy joy or buy happiness or go out and get it. No. It's what you bring through you: generosity, forgiveness, kindness, love, all these things that you teach every single day. All those, when you actually bring and train your mind into that centeredness, then the byproduct is joy.
Yes.
You have joy.
Yes. And, you know, Lindsay, you made me think about, I was having a conversation yesterday. I was being interviewed, and the person that was interviewing me said, you're so happy. You are so joyful. Right. And it was around ministry. And so she said, but you know, it's not appropriate all the time. Right. And I was like, what's not appropriate all the time? She said, joy. It's not appropriate all the time. I said, well, tell me a time when it's not appropriate. So she said, well, if someone comes to you and they're grieving, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to be so joyful. And so my response to her was, joy is a container for everything.
Yes.
Even for grief.
Yes.
Even for grief, right?
Yes.
And so doesn't that come through when you're working with anybody? Whatever is happening for them, joy is a container to hold it so that healing can occur. Do
Exactly.
you find that?
Yeah, I do find that a lot. And a lot of times in psychology, they say that there's 4 emotions. There's anger, there's sadness. I'm forgetting the other sad one. It's in it. And then there's joy and happiness. So there's 3 negative ones, but there's this one positive one. And the body naturally will go into the negative, but what meaning to keep yourself safe out of flight, or fear response. But what we learn how to do is train our brain as we get older to use our prefrontal cortex and our compassion. And you learn with joy, you can then be compassionate. And that's it. And you're right. So it's like when I'm with someone who is grieving, I want to be there to listen, but I want to be there to listen, to be able to hold their grief without falling apart with their grief.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what you're talking about. I can hold the emotion without becoming the emotion, and we can work through it. And then you end up being able to make the lemonade out of the lemon.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Right? Isn't that what it's about? Because you talk about how your past and, your relationship with your father and so was a lot of pain. But you don't speak about that as if you should be in remorse and upset about it. You now realize it was the process of becoming who you are.
Exactly.
And who you are is a joyful person.
Exactly.
So we can learn how to take our pain, and then we can hold it, and we can let go of our suffering, and then we can center ourselves with the love and the joy that you're talking about. Everybody can do it. Not just me and you, everybody.
Everybody. And that's what's so wonderful about it. Thank you, Sekou. Hold the emotion without becoming the emotion. Yes, 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 yes. So what can folks expect from the class that you're taking? So it's next Wednesday. So give us the details.
Okay. It's next Wednesday. It's on Zoom. Okay. It's at 2:00. I'm in California. So 2:00 my time, East Coast, that would be 5:00. It's for 4 classes, and I do tape them because sometimes people can't make it, and then I send them the tape. We're going to actually be going through all 8 pillars of how to cultivate this joy and really understand it, not only from our own perspective in cultivating joy, but also from the Dalai Lama and from Desmond Tutu, because both of them hold a lot of pain. From South Africa and then from Tibet, there's a lot of pain. They had pains of their environment, pains of their nations, and then they also have had their own pain. When Desmond Tutu made this book, he actually had prostate cancer and was in a lot of pain. He was 84 and the Dalai Lama was 80. So they talk about aging and so forth. We can hold joy no matter what's going on. With cancer, we can hold joy. With aging, we can hold joy. With knowing that other people are suffering, we can hold joy. And they talk about fierce compassion. So we're going to talk about how do you get to fierce compassion instead of rage or suffering. So we're going to work through these together, and we'll have a dialogue on Zoom.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So if folks want to register, how would they do that?
Just go to centeredmoment@gmail.com, or you can and email me and just say, I'm interested, and I'll send you all the information. So centeredmoment@gmail.com. Just say, and I want you to know that I have a sliding scale. So if for some reason, you're like, I don't know if I can afford it or whatever, don't worry. I have a sliding scale. I will work with everyone. Everyone has the opportunity to have joy open up in their heart, especially considering they're with Reverend Melissa. We always have joy, right?
Yes, yes, always. All right, y'all. centeredmoment@gmail.com. Sliding scale, that means that's a yes. That's a yes. That is a yes. So let's get into some joy questions here. All right. What does joy look or feel like for you?
Kindness. If I had to pick one word, it's kindness. I have learned that if I can check in with myself. Am I being kind to myself, and am I being kind to others? If both of those are right, then joy will radiate from me. So really kindness, but kindness to myself. Because I beat myself up a lot with my learning disabilities. I thought I was dumb and slow. And, I believed all that for a real long time. And I had to get past those tapes. And they pop up once in a while. That tape, you can't do it. And that's the tape of the little girl, Lindsay. Be kind to her, but also remind her that you can do it. You can say yes.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful kindness. And I know that's your quality. That's your quality. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, on Morning Sip, everyone has a quality that they are embodying for 2021. And Lindsay's is kindness. And she is that. Question 2. I say I'm living life in joy. What are you living life in?
I'm living life in awareness.
Mm.
And it's awareness and mindfulness. I think, mindfulness is awareness, but I am really into making sure that I'm seeing what's going on without casting that judgment. So then I'm able to connect with my higher spirit so I can listen. I have to learn how to, let go of that judgment mind and get that tape recorder off so I can hear what I'm meant to really know and to express. So you have to be aware of the present moment. So I'm living in mindfulness and awareness. Beautiful. And then of course love, because it's September, always.
Always. All right. 3rd question. What is your joy song?
All right, get ready for this. Where's my drum roll?
We want a drum roll.
A drum roll for this. All right, this is it. It's Happy Birthday.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me tell you why. Okay. When the kids, especially when my little kids at Park Hill, at the school I worked at, when they would be so upset, they would fight and they would hit and they would cry and they would get in the fetal position. And then when the staff didn't know what to do with them, we'd have walkie-talkies. And they say, Lindsay, you need to come to room 6, whatever. Mary Beth is in the corner and she won't even look up. So I'd come in and I'd get really low, get close to her, but not too close because she'll hit you. And I started to sing happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to you. And she would look at me and she'd be like, what are you doing, crazy lady? Right? What are you doing? But see, happy birthday for most people, and I won't say for everyone, is a positive song that they know. And even children that are suffering, they know that song. And what I did was pick a song I knew they knew, and their brain would shift into the positive. And they would say, it's not my birthday. And I would say, I know it's not your birthday, but I really like the song. And I keep singing it. And they couldn't help but start singing the song. And it brought in humor, which is one of the pillars that in the Book of Joy. To bring out and cultivate joy is to bring out humor. And they'd start to smile.
Yeah.
As soon as you got them starting to smile and shift out of it, it means that worried anxiety mind would relax, and the higher level and compassion they could start hearing. And then I could start talking to them. So happy birthday, even when it's not your birthday, will shift you out of anxiety into more of a pleasant place with pleasant memories. So really it is a joyful song for most every person.
Oh, that's so great. Now, every time I hear happy birthday, I'm going to think about that. That is so good. That is so good.
You run into someone and they're having a real bad day, just start singing them happy birthday. I mean, it will make them kind of smile, shift, think you're crazy in a humorous way. But what you're doing is you're actually helping them release, like endorphins and serotonin and things like that, and letting go of the cortisol from the stress. And then when they get there, then you can have that meeting of the minds and start helping them connect out of worry into divine spirit.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And a wonderful place to end this conversation. Oh my goodness. Because you think about happy birthday, it's based in love.
Exactly. It's based in love. It's based in celebration. It's based
Yes.
in loving and saying yes to life.
Yes,
Yes
yes,
to
yes.
life.
Well, Lindsay Love, thank you so much for being my special guest today.
Oh, thank
I
you.
certainly appreciate it. Everyone, if you want to get some of this joy that we're talking about, please sign up for Lindsay's class. It starts on this Wednesday, September 15th. You can go to centeredmoment@gmail.com and just tell her yes. Just tell her yes.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Lindsay.
Blessings to you all.
Blessings. See you soon. Oh, that was so wonderful. Thank y'all. Thank y'all, Lindsay. So, again, our theme is love. And so I want to go right into our joy quote because the joy quote was inspired by the fact that Lindsay is teaching this class based on the book written by Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. So I found this quote, and the quote says, "Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions." Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. So we have to be involved, right? Happiness is not something that happens to us, right? It's an activity that we get to engage in, right? It's something that happens through us, right? So we put ourselves in the position of giving it and receiving it by being an activity of it, being an activity of happiness, being an activity of love, and being an activity of joy. All right. All right, y'all. So to close the show, I just want to remind folks that Monday, we will be starting a new series on Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. We did 2 weeks of Parable. And if you missed it, you missed it. So please go back and check out the replay. We ended with parables that were created by members of the Congregation of Joy from Morning Sip. Nan, Julian, and Sekou all wrote beautiful parables with deep, deep lessons and learnings. So please check those out. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday show from last week. And we'll have a new series on Monday. Please join me 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.